Udah.
Sudah, Yudha.
Untuk untuk Santi, tolong bantuannya ya untuk share screen-nya.
Diana, can you please enable the screen share? Thank you.
Okay, wait. Now you are a host. Can you share the screen?
Yes, Diana, thank you.
My pleasure.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. Can you hear my voice?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, now we are from 10 groups. We are going to present our material about the chapter 10. But before that, let us introduce ourselves. First, my name is Kadek Ngurah Yudha Darma Laksana Pinatih. And then my friend Kevin.
My name is Ananda Kristian.
And then Andre.
And I'm Kadek Karisma Dewantara.
Okay, now we are going to present our material. In the chapter 10, the material is, the topic is creating the course structure in online lessons. So, next. In this chapter, we are going to talk about 5 topics. The first topic is what replaces an on-site class session, and then the second is the first lessons in orienting students, and then the third is how to present and work through new knowledge and skills online, and then the fourth is a later lesson, introduction or reinforcing new knowledge, and the last one is do it yourself. And the first material will be presented by Andre Karisma. So Andre, the time is yours.
Okay, Yudha, thanks for the time and the chance. Okay, I will start our presentation with my first topic. Santi, can you next slide, please? Okay, the first topic that we will like to discuss today is about what replaces an online class session. Next slide, please. Okay. So in this topic, we will talk about how the teacher replace on-site class session into online lesson. So if teacher use text-based lectures, whether in writing, audio, or video, I think it's the wrong choice, because with this strategy, the teacher just makes the students passive and receptive. So what teachers should do to make the online class productive or active is we develop a varied skills, a varied series of activities. Next slide. So as you can see on the slide, I will explain many ways to make a student interested and involved. I will explain to you one by one. I will start with the first one, rework the way material are presented. Rework the way material are presented here means that teacher can rework and design a new way to present material that makes student more active and participative. For example, teacher apply activities that ask students to analyze, to collaborative, to analyze something like that. So so student can communicate with each other and not just reading or listen something. Okay, next to the second one is incorporate varied media. It means that teachers should think of using appropriate media for the class. For example, a teacher can use audio or video lectures, can use slideshow like right now, or use writing text. So multimedia learning can aid students in remembering and understanding the course content. The third one is take resource from different sources. Okay. I'm sorry. I means the third one is change the presenters. Okay, change the presenter here mean that the presenters on the class is not only the teacher. Teacher can ask student to present the material to their friend, their other friends, or teacher can ask or invite expert person on that field to present the material on the class. Change presenters give teacher opportunities to bring the other voice, perspective, and opinion into the classroom. Okay, move to the next one. It's about tap resources from different sources. Teacher can use a lot of references from many sources in teaching a lesson. It can be from librarian or from internet, from interview or etc. And the next one is use a mix of activities. Actually, we already learned about this on previous chapter. So I will explain to you little, I will give the little explanation to you. So teacher can mix many activities. For example, teacher can mix discussion section into group works, or maybe group works into practice and exercise and the other activities. So for more detail, you can pick and read the previous chapter. And the last one is provide frequent opportunities for reflection and self-assessment. Now, reflection and self-assessment can help to motivate the students by letting them know how exactly where they are in the process. We have learned this part on last week by that presenting by each group. So I will not talk too much about this topic. Okay, that's all about the way to make student interested and involved. Next slide, please. Okay, we will discuss about the first lesson about orienting students. Next. Okay. Okay, on this part, actually we will we will learn about segment. For your information, segment is a part of a lesson. So teacher have a lesson. When teacher want to teach a lesson, teacher will divide its lesson into many segments. Its segments can be in form of introduction, activities, assignment, and others activities. So in here, we have the segment about the introduction. We took the example from our classes, the e-learning for ELT. So what I should explain here is about what is the things that should exist on the introduction part. In the introduction, teacher should giving students a great deal of support for adjusting in the course. And the second one, introduction, provides a clear instruction at every stage. Oh. Okay, so next slide, please. in here. So after the introduction, teacher will continue to present their material by giving the other segment like activities or assignment like that. So in here we have one example of activities, task-based video clip that I took from TEFL class. The purpose of activities here is to lead to active interaction that involve course content and personal communication. Okay, next. Okay, in here it is assignment. Assignment also is the one kind of segment. Okay, in this assignment, the things that we pay attention is about the direction of lectures. Lectures should give a clearly and briefly explanation what students should do, so students can do their dati about their dati. Okay, I'm sorry. And I would like to tell you that there are also many activities behind the example that I give to you. And I think the segment that teacher give or on online learning on LMS is depends on the way teacher learning style. So different teachers have different style and different segment to give for their student. Okay, next. Okay, for this part, the presentation will be continued by my friend Kevin. For Kevin, the time is yours. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Andre. I'm Kevin, and now I will continue this presentation. I'm start from how to present and work through new knowledge and skill online. But before we as a teacher present and work through new knowledge and skill online, we should make sure something that important for learning process. Next slide, please. Next. Okay, thank you. This is things that we should make sure before start the lesson. The first is outcomes. Outcomes here means the learning process should start with the outcomes or result in the week. It also the teacher will guide the students to get the outcome or result in every week after do the learning process. The second one is measurable. Measurable means the outcome must be measurable. That means what kind of the outcome or result that students will get after learning. So the teacher can determine or make the plan about the result. What will the student gain in the next meeting? The chart is related. It means the content or the material should be related with the learning process. Next. Here, thing the teacher can do before start the learning process. The first is, what is the activity? What is the activities means the teacher needs to determine activities during the learning process. The second one is, do I need identify? Do I need identify means when the other students cannot understand the material or cannot finish the task. Here the teacher needs to identify the reason why the students cannot finish the task and hard to understand the material. The third one is, how can I help the student? How can I help the students means the teacher facilitate the student to gain the knowledge and understand the material, like giving example to the student. And the last is how can I assess the students? It means the teacher should determine what the teacher should assess. For example, the teacher give the students recount text. So what will the teacher will assess from after the students learning recount text. Next, this is the example of how to present and work through new knowledge and skill online. Why I use this as an example? Because the purpose of the learning is clear. The second one, the explanation is not longer, it's not long and easy to understand. And the last is material related to the learning. Next. And this is my second material, that is a later lesson, introducing or reinforcing new knowledge. Okay, next. When the teacher giving introduction to knowledge to the students, we should give first explanation and avoid using verbal explanation. Give first explanation. Why we should give first explanation? Because if we are as a teacher give the students long explanation, it makes the students will feel overwhelmed, and they have to process the explanation they are just received. And the student usually and avoid using verbal explanation because that will make the students to be confused real. So for make the student easier to study and understand about the material, there are some ways can help the student in learning process. The first one is we as a teacher, we can divide the material into subtopic or several sections. This is for make the students not confused about the material and easier to understand. The second one is we take several activities during learning process. And the last is interesting excitement. It means the teacher need to give the students interesting challenging and critical excitement to know if the students understand about the material and build student creativity. Next. This is the example. This is the example from our course last semester. That is ICT. Okay, I use this as an segment that given is divided into several subtopics and several sections. So it will make the student easier to understand about the material and the segment given is you by you.
Okay, next slide, please. Okay, friends, now I want to give explanations about do it yourself. Um, I think you are curious about what is mean by do it yourself. Um, do it yourself mean that after you learn a lot of a chapter in this course, now let's us make the online course lesson design. So next slide, please. Yeah, I think you guys all already know how to make how to design the online course lesson. So I just want to remind you that when you want to design online course lessons, you need to pay attention of four these things. The first is outcomes, and then the second is introductions, the third is activity, and the last one is summary. Uh, this means that when you want to design online lesson course, uh, you you must conduct all of four these things to your um, course lesson design. Next slide, please. Okay, now I want to tell you how to make the online course lessons. I mean the steps when you want to design online course lessons. Uh, you have to uh, uh, you have you have to make by this step. The first is decided how many sections do you need to cover all of the topic of your lessons. Uh, this is mean that when you want to finish one topic of your lesson, um, pay attention to how many sections that you want to make to cover of all the material. And then the second is write learning outcome. Learning outcomes is very important because it um, is the uh, what a student will get when you present the topic. And then the third is write introductions. Introductions means that when you want to start the session, the course, you need to write a brief introductions to um, to introducing your topic to the students. And then the fourth is analyze and break up your content. It is related with the first is decided how many sections. Analyze the content is when you make course lessons, uh, you don't have to make the content too much or too uh, too short because when you make too much content in your in one topic, uh, it will takes more time to finish just only one topic. And then the last is review the material before it means before you upload the material, make sure that your material conduct of image, chart, audio, or video. It is because when you conduct the material with that kind of things, students will more interest um, of your material or of the course. Next slide, please. After you decided the material, now let's move to the activities. In online learning, the activities uh, has so many kind of activities. This is uh, as as we said at the chapter 6, there are some kind of uh, online learning activities. As you can see, for example, is class discussion, journal writing, and then share knowledge base, practice exercises, projects, and deceptive activities. When you make course lessons, you have to decide it what kind of activities that you want to use. You can use one of those activities, or you can combine two or three of the activities. Next, then at the activities, you also have to pay attention for these 7 kind of things. When you decided the activities, you must pay attention with the guidelines. Every section you have to give guidelines for students to make students easier to understand what is uh, what is uh, the section for. And then the second is the assessment. When you have designed the lesson course, um, you you have to decide how often you will do assessment to your students, and the assessment can be self-assessment and then reflective uh, activities. And the third is guest speaker. When you put when you do course activities, you can use guest speaker to get more information, to give more information to your students. And make sure when you want to give when you want to use guest speaker, make sure that the speaker is a person who related to the topic that uh, you want to give. And then the fourth is student presentation. Student presentations can be done by considering what is the topic, uh, how many student presentation that presents the material. Uh, it it can be individual or group presentation. And then the number 5 is experience from the field. It means when you do the lesson activities, um, you can use the experience from the field by considering uh, what kind of experience that use, and then uh, in what form that the experience can be used on the online course lesson activities. And then the 6th is a science report on real life. It means when you do online activities, you can you can ask your students to report their real life. It can be on survey, on it can be interviews in online learning activities. And last one is brief audio and video. It means that in your online course activity, you can use audio and video on the section. It can be a video that already made by someone, or uh, the source from another website. And it can be a material that teachers made, and it can be the student assignment in the form of video. Okay, that's all of the activities that you can pay attention, that you can use on online learning course. Next. Yeah, for the conclusion, in the chapter 10 is the last chapter of the whole chapter in this topic. So you guys already learned a lot of how to make a good introduction, how to make outline, how to make learning objective, and etc. So this, I want to remind you that when you later want to make this one, I want to give a reminder that if you want to make um, online course lessons, you have to pay attention of all that kind of thing that I have present. My friend and I had present. So it can help you uh, to give your students clearly information and make your teaching process more successful. I think that's all about my presentation today. If there is any questions, you can ask on WhatsApp group or Google Classroom. That's all about today. Thank you very much and see you on the next week. Thank you.